I'm Goshen, a professional astrologer, and welcome here Gemini and Gemini rising. This is your forecast for 2024. If you're new here, it's so great to see you. I hope that you find something worthwhile. And if you're returning here, welcome back. Thank you for your support in 2023, and post me a comment on how 2023 is or was for you. So let's look at the year ahead, an extremely exciting time as Jupiter, the planet of benevolence and expansion, moves into your sign. If you're a Gemini rising, it's moving into your ascendant or your first house. What does that mean for you? It means that you are presented with many opportunities to grow, to expand. And we want to make sure that you are channeling your energies in a direction that is worthy and worthwhile for you. Because Jupiter is a planet of expansion, and Gemini is a sign which is very good at fragmentation, diversification, going here, going there, being very changeable. We want to make sure that you take on the right amount of projects and expansion this year and you don't get overloaded. And I'd like you to make a note in your calendars. May 26, 2024. Could be a day on either side depending on your time zone. And that goes for all the dates that I give. But that is the date that Jupiter is moving into Gemini. It's called an ingress, and we want to make note when a slow-moving planet enters into a new sign, and in particular when it's your sign. What is taking place in your life that week? Make a note of that, because this is what you want to build on and manage and work with as 2024 progresses, and Jupiter will be in your sign from that week in May 24th, all the way until June of 2025. So we call Jupiter also the sugar daddy of the cosmos. Love might come your way, money might come your way, opportunities though in general. And for those of you born in early Gemini, that is approximately May 21st to June 11th or so, you're going to receive those blessings directly to your sun in 2024. For those of you born after June 11th or 12th until around June 21st, you will receive direct contact from Jupiter to your sun in 2025. And the same with your ascendant. If you know your ascendant degree, the first 2/3 or so of Gemini will receive contact in 2024, and the last third, that's around 20 degrees to 29 degrees of Gemini ascendant, will receive contact in 2025. So don't worry about the details. We're going to go into an easy flow of a month by month, so you can get out your calendars and make important notes. And let's take it from there, Gemini. Now you know that your ruling planet is Mercury. Therefore, when Mercury changes direction in the zodiac, either it moving forward or backwards as seen from Earth, this affects you because you are very deeply connected to Mercury, the planet that rules our mindset and rules the system that travels through our body, the nervous system, sending messages from our mind to our body and back again. So the year begins January 1st with Mercury changing direction. It's going from retrograde motion to direct motion in Sagittarius. And what does this mean for you? It means that you get an excuse to kick back and relax as the year gets underway. I invite you to be cozy at home or to be chilled on holiday, and there's no need to be rushing here, rushing there, everywhere, because you are affected by this energy and you want to be in a relaxed state as possible with the least things to worry about. Mercury helps us in life to deal with the details, and when Mercury is moving from either direct to retrograde or retrograde to direct motion, you want to make sure that you cut yourself some slack and give yourself extra time to get about, and you don't tie yourself in knots. And for the rest of January, you're going to have the action planet going through an area of your chart which has to do with deep processing. So I invite you, there's no need to launch into something brand new just because it's January. You might be consulting with people, you might be going through therapy, you might be involved in working through some kind of financial situation with a partner. You might find yourself visiting a parent and dealing with aging issues, sorting out their paperwork for them. Whatever the case, it's a time where you're a little bit removed from the world. You don't really feel like stepping out. If you're living in the northern hemisphere, it's deep winter, and you're really invited to settle down and to snuggle in. As February gets underway, there's a shift. We get this energy moving into the house of studies, getting out there, traveling, whether it's armchair traveling or it's taking on a new kind of study period. There's a storm outside. I'm not sure if you can hear the loud thunder. Get involved with life in February, or plan your work calendar so that as February comes around, you see yourself stepping out, connecting with friends, connecting with groups. By February 23rd, we see your ruling planet entering your house of work, and it's paving the way for the action planet Mars, which is going to come there a month later. So around that time, February 23rd, you're really engaging in things, and there may be some tension between home and work. Maybe you have a family that you have to take care of and you're working, or whatever the case may be. This is going to be highlighted at the full moon on February 24th, which is in the solar place of the home. So experience that tension. Don't fight it, don't push it away. You can do both. You're Gemini, you're the twins. You can put on your work hat and go out there and see clients or do whatever you're doing. Go out into the world, and then you can put on your home hat and you can be a good wife, mother, partner, whatever the case, whatever you find is called for. February is going to highlight that, and be kind to yourself. You don't need to be perfect. You need to understand that one of your strongest skill sets is this ability to move between the two worlds. So accept it, and you'll be given those wings. You know that Mercury has wings on his helmet and on his heels. So feel them and fly around. Keep calm while you do it. March 2024 sees a continued emphasis at work. So this is the time you're putting the energy in. If you're working hard, that's great. You're receiving that energy from the cosmos. Got a new moon in the house of work around the 10th of March. Venus is coming into that area around the 11th, bringing blessings, possibly some money, possibly a good work experience, maybe a nice new colleague is coming into that part of your life. And this comes to fruition when Mars also enters the house of work around the 22nd. And it's all systems go, because wherever Mars is traveling, it's bringing action, it's bringing incentive, it's bringing initiative. So you want to take that energy and use it. When Mars is going through an area of your chart, it's not the time to sit back and relax. However, there is going to be a shift from the work-home polarity when eclipse season starts for us. Because Gemini, you're going to experience the eclipse season in areas of your chart which have to do with love given and received, with pleasure given and received, or with your hopes and dreams, or your children, or your creativity. So it's really vast. And I would like to mention here, I know many of you are retired, and you often write to me and you post comments saying, what if I'm retired? You're talking a lot about work. I'm not sure how to interpret it. If you're retired and I speak about work, focus on your persona in the world, what you do out within your community. What is your public standing? What is your status? Perhaps you're going to suddenly change status. You know, many retired people, they retire at 60 and then maybe only at 65 or 70 they start to go on Social Security. Their status is changing. Money is coming in from a different area. So that's all activity that you would relate to the 10th house. And what we're going to see with the eclipse season, which begins at the end of March, around March 25th, there's going to be a lunar eclipse, and that's going to take place in very much a creative part of your chart. It could be to do with lovers, it could be to do with children, it could be to do with some kind of speculation or creative enterprise that you're involved in. But what we want to do around a lunar eclipse is we don't want to make major decisions about a week before that eclipse. We want to sit with the energy and contain it. Contain it. You might feel that something in your life needs urgent decisions at this time. And if possible, and of course within reason, try not to be persuaded to make a hasty decision, because after that eclipse things are going to come to light, and that end of March eclipse is going to have a sister eclipse on the 8th of April, give or take a day on either side, and that's going to be in Aries, and that is your solar house of your goals, your hopes, your dreams. It could also refer to rewards or promotions or bonuses that are coming in from work. So take your time, don't rush with decisions, especially if they have to do with your children or with maybe switching job at that time, making a big decision which is about following your dreams, your hopes for your future. Try to wait until after maybe April 12th, 13th, more things will come to light, and then the last 3 or 4 weeks are going to be so much clearer. You're going to see what's going on and you're going to move forward, and you won't have wasted energy during that eclipse season. Another reason that I'm inviting you to kick back a little with decision making during April is that on April 1st your ruling planet Mercury turns retrograde, and it's going to be retrograde until around April 25th. So that's a natural rest period for you, and really good not to sign a whole lot of contracts or to move forward with a big business deal. Wait until after things are gathering speed until the end of April. And that retrograde period is happening in that same house to do with dreams, goals, visions, friendships. So use that time to hook up with old friends. Call up a friend you haven't seen for a while. Go out for coffee, connect, have some meaningful contact. This is the time to do it. And we've also got the action planet moving into that area of your chart at the same time, the end of April. So that area is really being worked. a good time, end of April, to journal. What are my goals? What are my dreams? What are my hopes? How am I going to achieve them in 2024? During the early part of May, I see you behind closed doors and making all those notes that are preparing you to launch big and come out at the end of May. The first part of May, you've got the sun, you've got the new moon, you've got Jupiter finishing off its journey through Taurus, all in your solar 12th house. So it's a fecund energy, a fertile energy. And if you're planning what you're going to do when you emerge at your birthday, that's exactly how it's going to be helpful to you, because you're working in line with the planets. And then I get to wish you happy birthday, because the sun moves into your sign on May 21st of this year, and bringing with it that wonderful ingress of Jupiter into your sign as well on May 26th. So this is when you step out, you launch something, you hold court, you have a party, you invite people. The end of May sees you blossoming, not only celebrating your birthday, but also celebrating abundance and expansion. Early June is also a great time for work, for getting your message out, because your ruling planet Mercury is going to move into that area of the zodiac where it is at home, Gemini. So get the message out, send those emails, be working on it. Your new moon is also going to be in Gemini on June 6th at that time. So very good seeding time, and time where things are now blossoming for you. There's a little bit of a slowdown at the very end of June when Saturn is moving from direct to retrograde motion. So I like to suggest for everyone that you take a few chill days on either side of that, as there's an adjustment taking place. It may be a good time to take a holiday, take some time off. Saturn is the planet that helps us to work hard. So when it's moving retrograde, we like to kick back a little. The most important energy I'm seeing for July is around the 20th, when you're going to have an emphasis on your first house again. What is the first house? The first house, or the ascendant as we know it, is our cloak that we put on in the world, how people see us. And if we have a Gemini ascendant, that's going to come in the spotlight. Are we going to be changing our identity a little bit? Are we going to be shifting it? What can we tweak? Maybe it's a new haircut, a new style of clothing, but maybe it's something deeper. Are we adjusting to what we put out into the world? Maybe we're tired of running around being late and being stressed for appointments. Maybe we're turning over a new leaf and we're going to be on time and we're going to be organized. And if this action is contacting our sun at this time, if you have a Gemini sun, you're going to feel revitalized, a lot of energy. End of July, early August, most of August is a good time to return to a fitness routine. You know, go to the gym, work out, plan a hike, stay active. And as always, communication is very important to you, Gemini. If you are feeling run down or washed out, call up a friend and talk about it. This is such a helpful and positive thing for you to do. We don't want you to be stuck in a mood or all alone where you feel isolated. Gemini needs socialization. They need to take short trips to the shop, to the wherever, to get out and get moving into the body. Not healthy to sit at home and brood. There's a beautiful start to the month of August with Venus coming into the home area of your chart. someone you love coming to visit, something beautiful coming into the home, maybe some new decorating, who knows, but it's ushered in by a new moon. So make the most of early August, because a large part of August, again, it's a good time to be with family. If you can take a bit of time off work, do so, because you've got another Mercury retrograde, your ruling planets telling you to chill a bit, step back, to take it easy, to clear out your calendar. And that's happening between the 5th, when Mercury will slow down, and the 28th of August, when Mercury will speed up again. So plan your year accordingly. You have this information now and you want to work in tune. September the 1st is a day of adjustment for all of us. And I invite you not to overschedule anything on that day. We want to kick back. We want to relax. We've got a movement of one of the outer planets, and we're invited to go to bed early and chill out. It's Uranus, which can wire us if we are too active. So the best way to utilize that energy is meditation or spending some quiet time just connecting with yourself. Around September 4th, I see you moving through finances. How are things going for you? Do you need to make adjustments? September's not a time to spend a lot of money. It's that time to reassess. How have you been managing from the year's beginning? Are you on budget and where you want to be with your financial situation? If not, now is the time to make adjustments. Especially because around September 18th, there's going to be another eclipse, and this is going to take place in your house of work. So if something needs to come to the fore, especially about earnings, and do you need to bring more money in? Do you need to manage the money that's coming in better? Or do you need to distribute the money better? Perhaps you're a boss and you need to give everyone in your company a raise. Whatever the case, September is that time for fiscal adjustments. And I invite you to work with that. See what's happening. Remember that we don't make big decisions before an eclipse, and after an eclipse, things are going to come to light. As October gets underway, relationships come into the spotlight. And if you're in a partnership, give your partner some extra attention. We've got an eclipse in Libra at that time. And if you're single, this is a good time to be mindful and realize what messages are you putting out there. Do you want to be in a partnership? If you do, you've got to put the message out. End of October has a full moon in Aries, which also brings us to the fore. But before that, I want you to make a note of October 9th, which is when Jupiter, that planet of expansion, which is now traveling in your sign, is going to move retrograde. That means that around the week of October 9th, you need an adjustment. This is the time to assess, do I have too much on my plate? And can I adjust it? Do I need to take on more, or do I need to offload some of the responsibilities I've taken on and try to relax a bit and enjoy life more? There's a lot of positive energy coming into that house of relationships during the month of November. And if you are in a partnership with a spouse, around November 11th is a good time to sit down and talk about money if you have to balance things together. Saturn picks up speed around the middle of November in that house of work for you. And also the sun is going to enter into that place of relationships from around November 21st onwards. So very much a time of being with others. Don't hide away at home. If you're not in a relationship, hang out with people that you like, or simply go out and do things in the public eye. It's a positive time of year, and we want to feel the joy. It's building towards the holiday season in December, and it's a really wonderful time to engage in new enterprises, meet new people, put yourself out there. Perhaps you use online dating. Whatever the case, I want to see you engaged in the world in November, Gemini. The new moon on December 1st is also in that house of the public, or that house of relationships, again asking you to initiate things which get you out into the world, get you traveling, get you going. Don't hesitate. Don't say, I'm going to travel when I retire in 10 years' time. Life doesn't work like that. We have to start to make plans and take action as soon as possible. Now, I do need to mention that there's going to be a slowdown activity in your house of communication when Mars travels back there around December, and it's going to be in this area of your chart all the way until the end of February 2025. So this is a wonderful time to plan in advance. December, January, and February of 2025, December of 2024, January, February of 2025, time to assess. If you run a business, you're going to assess things. How are they going? And you're going to formulate your plans so that at the end of February into March 2025, you emerge with many new strategies. Mars retrograde periods are wonderful for seeing which systems work and for getting rid of old systems and updating to new systems. So be aware of that. It's in that house of your neighborhood, your communications, technology. Mars will also be slipping back into your house of finances, inviting you to reassess things. Maybe you're going to refinance your mortgage at that time. Who knows? But it's a good time for anything that you are redoing and you're looking at in those areas of your chart. And finally, to plant seeds for 2025, Gemini, in the middle of the year, you're going to have Uranus, the awakener, moving into your sign. This is big news. This can bring a real shift of identity, a real awakening to what you really are, to your own authenticity, to your own individuality. So lots to look forward to, Gemini. And if you found anything helpful in this forecast, please like and subscribe. It helps to grow the channel. And I wish you all the very best for 2024. Post your comments. I read each and every one of them.